Let's talk about the main story of the day. The Haiti president, Jovenel Moïse, I don't know how to say his last name or even his first name. He was assassinated overnight at his private residence.
News from Haiti, where the country's president is dead this morning, assassinated in what's being described as a middle-of-the-night attack. Jovenel Moïse had been in office for 4 years and had been the target of months of protests. Haiti's interim prime minister said Moïse's wife was also wounded in the attack. With us on the phone now is Jacqueline Charles. She's the Caribbean correspondent for the Miami Herald and has covered Haiti extensively. Jacqueline, good morning to you. What are you hearing about this assassination?
Yes, hi, good morning. So what we are hearing is that it occurred in the middle of the night or the middle of the morning, sometime around 1 a.m., according to the current acting interim prime minister. These are unknown, unidentified assailants that in video circulation.
I can't wait for like some of the weirdo leftists to do a self-report and be like, this was a CIA assassination and that like this guy actually was a leftist or something. It's always like some people unironically hold the only political position that they hold is like America bad. And they're right. Like America is bad. OK, don't get me wrong. Make no mistake. That lands them like in 85 to 90% of the situations in the right side of history. If you just have an exclusive like America bad, all of America's enemies are actually anti-imperialist approach. It leads you on. It puts you on the right side of the argument like 90% of the time. Because like in most of the cases, America's bad. In almost all cases, right? However, it also sometimes leads you to like, you know, advocate for people that are just ridiculous. And advocate for regimes that are ridiculous. This dude was a puppet of the American state. Let's take a look. Let's keep going.
They identified themselves as DEA agents or that this was a DEA operation. These were not DEA agents. There was no DEA operation.
Maybe we'll talk about it.
One high-ranking official told me that these are quote-unquote mercenaries. We're still trying to figure out who they were, who hired them, what's the motive behind all of this. And yes, the president was quote-unquote mortally wounded, but he is dead.
The statement from the prime minister's office says that some of the unidentified assailants spoke Spanish. Is that credible? And also, what's the backdrop here? What led up to this middle-of-the-night attack?
So, yes, it is credible. They spoke Spanish and they spoke English with an American accent. You know, the backdrop.
Like, for the record, for people who are saying, like, oh, this guy, you know, CIA assassinated him. He's like, I don't even know if anyone's saying that like he's anti-America or anything like that. But yeah. I will mention that Democracy Now! Has covered the Haitian regime numerous times throughout the past year. Rip and Zach in the chat has been yelling at me to cover it, and I just refused to cover it until this moment. And also, the protests were against America because the United States was literally funding and facilitating this oppressive Haitian regime under this dude who was going after his fifth term and trying to extend it again, and was refusing to leave power. And then he would just like blame it on COVID. I don't think that it's people think that the DA would announce an assassination on the megaphone. No. It's probably mercenaries. I don't know who it was. I don't know who would kill him, but it probably wasn't the American government is what I'm trying to say. The American government is not going to fucking murk an American asset unless they have like a fascist to overtake immediately and use it as a coup d'etat. The American government will assassinate leftist leaders immediately, but they're not going to assassinate like a center-right American puppet. It'd be like assassinating Guaido for no fucking reason. Yeah, I mean, there was like hella kidnappings happening in fucking Haiti. It's crazy.
Haiti is a country that has been in chaos now for a while. President Moïse has been in office for 4 months. He's been contested almost from the minute that he got into
Sorry, I was talking to my mom.
Office. Lately, you know, you have a sector of the population in civil society that said they did not recognize him because his presidential term expired February 7th of this year. He said no, he still had another year to go. The United States actually backed him up on that claim.
Yeah.
At the same time, he was trying to force through a constitutional referendum And the majority of Haitian legal experts and constitutional experts said that it was illegal. At the same time, he's been getting pressure to hold legislative elections because he's been ruling by decree since January 2020. And in ruling by decree, he made a number of decisions or passed presidential orders, one of which was to create a secret intelligence agency. And he also redefined what would be considered, terrorism, basic acts of protest like burning tires. They decided that that was terrorism under these new domestic laws. So this is a president that has faced a lot of controversy in a country where you have a humanitarian crisis, you have an armed gang crisis, alarming spikes in kidnappings. Since June 1st, you've had more than 16,000 Haitians who have been forced out of their homes in poor working-class neighborhoods because of armed clashes with rival gangs.
It's kind of progressive for them to have a black president, though. Good one, dude. That was pretty good. That was fucking good. Good shit. Actually funny chatter. Wow, that's crazy.
You also have an economic crisis. I mean, it has just been an overall country that's volatile. And today, with the death of the president, I've been told that there is no constitutional legal.
No, he's fucking joking, dude. He's making fun of like people saying that about Obama in America.
Propaganda brain rot pog.
Okay.
Solution in terms of who should take charge.
All right. Well, a dramatic overnight development in one of America's closest neighbors there.
Hey, chat.
All I'm saying is I'm not shedding a tear for this guy, okay? Let's hear from literally the actual girl boss of the decade, Amy Goodman.
DemocracyNow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman in New York, joined by Democracy Now! Co-host Juan Gonzalez in New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Hi, Juan.
Hi, Amy, and welcome to all of our listeners and viewers across the country and around the world.
Globe.
Well, we begin today's show with breaking news. Haitian President Jovenel Moïse was assassinated early today after an attack on his home in the outskirts of Port-au-Prince. Moïse's wife was also shot in the attack. She's been hospitalized. In a statement, the Haitian Prime Minister, Claude Joseph, said, quote, "A group of unidentified individuals, some of them speaking Spanish, attacked the private residence of the President of the Republic and thus fatally wounded the head of state," unquote. Moïse had led Haiti since 2017. Earlier this year, critics of Moïse accused him of orchestrating a coup to stay in power beyond February 7th, when his term officially ended. For months, Haitians have...
Maybe he was trying to put together a black flag op, and then they ended up actually assassinating him instead of like doing a fake assassination attempt so he could garner sympathy. Who knows? I'm just kidding. That's the joke.
Staged large protests against Moïse, demanding he leave office. But Moïse clung to power with support from the Biden administration, which backed Moïse's claim that his term should end next year. Human rights groups report had accused Moïse of sanctioning attacks against civilians in impoverished neighborhoods of Port-au-Prince, the capital, with targeted assassinations and threats against government critics carried out with impunity. We're joined now, dealing with this breaking news, by two guests. Dahoud Andre is a longtime Haitian community activist and member of the Committee to Mobilize Against Dictatorship in Haiti. And Kim Ives is with us, the editor of Haiti Liberté. We welcome you both to Democracy Now! Let's begin with Dahoud Andre. Can you tell us what you have heard? Who is responsible for this assassination? And then give us what has been happening. Talk about what has been happening in Haiti.
Well, thank you very much, Amy and Juan, for inviting us to speak about what's happening in Haiti. We got the call, a call.
Supporting this clown and Guaido? What's up with Biden backing losers? What, you thought the Democratic Party wasn't going to support Guaido, that they've literally offered unconditional support to literally all the time and historically and will continue to do so? Like, not a single person was like, oh my God, I'm so shocked that a vote for Biden means like regime change in Venezuela. It doesn't even fucking matter, because that's how incompetent the American State Department is nowadays. That like, I don't even believe that they could execute a fucking foreign leader, even in Haiti, if they tried at this point, okay? They just suck. They are not good anymore, dude. They can't even do fucking psyops. All they need to do is just like watch leftists fucking burn themselves by engaging in like almost reactionary radlib shit or a Jimmy Dorian style psychotic takes. They don't have to do anything anymore. They're just like literally just on autopilot. Speaking of Guaido, the Venezuelan president is warning the country to stay on alert due to the CIA meeting with Colombian and Brazilian leaders. He's scared for his life. I mean, Brazil is you know, a sea change is coming to Brazil too.
About
so
5:30 this morning, to say that radio in Haiti had reported that overnight Jovenel Moïse had been assassinated. I should say that right now.
Maybe the Republicans were right, dude. Maybe we hired too many people who are like, I got anxiety disorder. I can't do a murder right now. Sorry. Maybe that's what happened. We weakened the State Department by, you know, bringing in people who aren't like bloodthirsty freak fucking I've never drank alcohol Mormons, or rather I drink all the alcohol Irish. Yeah, we got fucking soy-ass agents, dude. That's what it is. Hate when you say this bullshit. I'm joking, dude. That's not the case, okay? Having, like, some sort of fucking anxiety disorder doesn't render you incapable of doing murder. Trust me, dude. I'm not doing ableism against fascists, okay? Don't worry, okay? You can be neurodivergent and do all the fascism, you fucking girl boss. God damn, dude. God damn it! It's called a fucking joke! Fuck! I hate it when you do ableism when you're talking about this stuff. Yo. I literally started with the statement, maybe Republicans were right. If I ever say that, and I'm not talking about fucking Abraham Lincoln, you know I'm joking. Shut up! I'm gonna joke.
As of now, we have no clue where this assassination came from. Certainly not the street gangs such as the G9, Jimmy Barbecue Cherizier, who has been going around recently after years of demonstrating with an American flag behind his back, and right now purporting to be fighting for a revolution to liberate the Haitian people. So we know it did not come from there.
Okay, I need to know what the fuck Jimmy Barbecue is, dude. Oh my God. His name is Jimmy Barbecue. In Haiti, coronavirus and a man named Barbecue test the rule of law. The WAPO report. Former police officer who portrays himself as the savior of the streets, Jimmy Barbecue Cherizier, has come to symbolize the accelerating erosion of Haiti's already challenged rule of law during the coronavirus pandemic. Accused of orchestrating massacres that left dozens of men, women, and children dead, he has succeeded in accomplishing the once unthinkable. Is it because he's a pig? Is that why he's named himself Barbecue? He's a cop? Or like, what's the deal? Or does he, oh God, does he fucking burn people up? Is that why?
We know that it could have come from the oligarchy. Such people as Reginald Boulos, maybe, you know, the Dimitri Vorb, that at present it appears that
damn, dude, Haitian gangs have hella drip though. I'm sorry. I know that's irrelevant, and I know that they're fucking brutal and shit, but goddamn, they're drippy. Sorry.
Moïse has some difficulty with them, because we can imagine that it would take a lot of money to do and resources to do an operation such as this. But a lot of people that I've spoken to this morning are saying it's probably the U.S. government, again, not just affirming their domination over Haiti right now, but maybe to mask the shame of their defeat and running away from Afghanistan in the middle of the night.
And Kim Ives, I wanted to get your perspective on this. Clearly, there was a popular opposition and questions, deep questions about any kind of legitimacy for Jovenel Moise. So, was this potentially a falling out among the elite, or was there foreign involvement as well, other than the possible mercenaries themselves being hired from abroad?
Well, it definitely seems there was foreign involvement. My sources in Haiti this morning tell me that the assailants, the killers, arrived in 9 brand new Nissan Patrol pickups. They had complete understanding of the household of Jovenel Moise, so apparently they had some inside information. They knew what they were doing. They pretended to be the DEA. Clearly this was a fairly sophisticated operation. Was it Boulos? Was it one of the other members of the bourgeoisie who have had problems with Jovenel? It's difficult to know. It seems he also was recently in Turkey making some deals, and the Colombians may have not been happy about that. That's one of the rumors going around. So we have to wait and see who was behind it. But definitely on the street, things have been very hot. The revolutionary forces of the G9 family and allies have basically been also calling for Jovenel to go. So I don't think there's anybody that is going to be unhappy with this outcome. It was a time when he was very isolated, even within his own circles.
And the fact that they were speaking Spanish?
Yeah, and that's the big question. Yeah, I'm trying to find out why they think it was Colombians involved. I don't know if it's an accent question. I haven't gotten an answer back, but I believe that, it was definitely some fairly sophisticated mercenary operation involved.
Yeah, I mean...
And Daoud, I wanted to ask you in terms...
I mean, they were sophisticated because they were able to do it. You know what I mean? It had to have been. In comparison to what we saw in Venezuela that got where the American mercs got overtaken by a bunch of fucking fishermen, you know what I mean? Object permanence, Dominican Republic
For
exists,
those listeners and viewers of Democracy Now! Who have not been closely following what's been going on in Haiti in recent years, could you talk about the connections of Moise to the previous president and the involvement of the Clintons in the continuing persistent political crises that have occurred in Haiti in recent years?
Yeah, I want to point out first that this is exactly 3 years since the major uprisings that happened in the country in 2018, July 6th, 7th, when the IMF had demanded that Haiti, the government of Haiti, raise fuel prices, and some of these prices were doubled, and the puppet government that Jovenel Moise headed, they did this in the middle of a soccer game between Brazil and Belgium. And the idea was that Brazil would win and that it would be euphoria and the people wouldn't mind. They wouldn't notice. They would be celebrating Brazil's victory. And fate had it that Brazil lost shamefully. And immediately after the game ended, uprisings all over the country. So it's important to note this date, that this anniversary, and that Jovenel Moise would be killed on this anniversary. But also,
this man is he's trying to hide his feelings. He's not doing a good job. Okay, I mean, he's literally just laughing, dude. It's fucking awesome.
I want to point out that what Kim Ives is calling the revolutionary forces of the G9 and Jimmy Cherizier, these are criminals. These are people that are responsible for killing massacres in poor neighborhoods in the country. These are people, and a lot of people find it amazing, unbelievable that Kim Ives and his newspaper, Haiti Liberté, would be defending it, trying to make people believe that these are revolutionaries. These are the people who are throwing 78-year-old elderly folks off of buildings, burning them alive, that these are the people who are going to save us. The audience should understand, yes, Martelly was handpicked by the Clintons as a...
Wait, I'm confused. Did Kim Ives actually say that the G9 is good? What the fuck? He said they were revolutionary? Is that true? Wait, this dude writes for The Intercept and shit too, no? I like...
you know, a puppet as someone who would do their bidding. And during the campaign, it was obvious that the Clintons, Bill Clinton, who was running the CIRH to supposedly rebuild Haiti back better, same slogan that Joe Biden used in his recent campaign, that they would find that this is the person who would be a degenerate, someone, I know that this program...
Bro, he is fucking nailing Kim Ives.
...has done much about Martelly, so I don't want to even go there. But what is important is that Martelly handpicked Jovenel Moïse. And Jovenel Moïse, who was a crook, an indicted, a fake entrepreneur, was put in directly by the U.S. government again. And in that position, he was a reliable puppet to first Donald Trump, to the point that he betrayed Haiti's historic relationship with Venezuela in recognizing Juan Guaido as legitimate head of Venezuela. And Jovenel Moïse had the nerve to say that the most recent legislative elections in Venezuela, he would not recognize them because there was not enough popular participation.
Yeah. It's like, this is another reason why the CIA is just like not as good anymore. You know what I mean? Like they couldn't even get Maduro out of power. Like that's wild. It's not like Maduro is like incredibly popular. It's not like he's doing a good fucking job. Obviously, there are a lot of issues outside of Maduro's power that ruin Venezuela and have more significant consequences to Venezuela. But like not being able to overthrow a deeply unpopular president, not even be able to execute him, and then your replacement guy is so unpopular that you can't even put him in there. Like Guaido's the best guy you could find for the job. So bad. So bad.
And this is someone who, by their own numbers, got about 500,000 votes in a country of 12 million people. So I need to say that the Haitian people loathed Jovenel Moïse and Martelly, the PHTK government, because they are the tools of the United States. They would to impose the will of the United States on the people. And they armed these street gangs, they financed these massacres in the poor neighborhoods that are supportive of, I should say, President Aristide, the Lavalas government. And they just felt, and this was...
Yeah, for the record, I'm looking at this on the other side, but Kim Ives has talked about the G9 family and allies as like a revolutionary movement. And that is really fucking strange. The The G9's purpose, in the words of the principal leader and spokesman Jimmy Barbecue Cherizier, was to carry out a revolution against the rotten, corrupt system in Haiti, presided by 12 families of Haiti's tiny bourgeoisie. This movement and its stated objective threw panic into not only the bourgeoisie, but also the U.S. Embassy, which quickly imposed economic sanctions on Cherizier, while its human rights ally Pierre Esperance of the National Network of Defense of Human Rights, in report after contested report, demonized Cherizier as a monster, dismissing his declared goals as eliminating kidnapping and crime in the shanty towns, as well as pressuring for schools, clinics, roads, sanitation, and other services in the slums desperately poor. There are, of course, multiple reasons why the PNH might not have gone after Cherizier until now. Rapport of force, sympathy within PNH ranks. Cherizier was a former department unit maintaining order, fear of triggering a ticking time bomb, being tied up on multiple other fronts, etc. Do you understand the motivations here? I don't get why the US/CIA would be financing the gangs. I mean, as far as like, why would the United States government finance gangs? Hello? Basically, every single Latin American counter-revolutionary force that has overthrown in a violent coup d'etat other like democratic socialist administrations have been led by actual criminal organizations that the United States has funded, trained, facilitated with arms.
From a baby.
This is pretty much the modus operandi of the American State Department. If that's what you're questioning, if that's what you're wondering, like, this is literally a part of the protocol for the most part. This is what they do. I mean, they don't just do it in Latin America. They do it, as people are saying, Pepe le Taliban, but like, yeah, literally also that as well. The Mujahideen were seen as a,
Hasan, you the man.
the Mujahideen were seen as a force to purge the USSR from the region, and were armed, trained, funded, facilitated. And then they their offshoots became like the Taliban and numerous other formations, even including Al Qaeda, and it's just like literally just what America does all the time, and has done, and will continue to do, most likely. If they fund local gangs, they can turn around and say, "Look, we have broad popular support. Look, this is a populist uprising. This is like they're on our side."
Was Martelly's position. He
it also
clearly
causes
said,
mass
so long
chaos.
as the heavyweights, meaning the United States, the UN, the OAS, the core group, supported him and Jovenel Moïse, nothing could happen to them. And this is what we have seen. The support, the unequivocal support of the United States to the PHTK government, who was killing the Haitian people and stealing the resources of the country.
I want to get Kim Ives' response to this clip. One of Haiti's most powerful gang leaders warned this week he was launching a revolution against the country's business and political elites. This is Jimmy Cherizier, who Daoud just referred to, a.k.a. Barbecue, a former police officer who heads the so-called G9 Federation of nine gangs formed last year.
I'm telling people to keep looking for what belongs to them by right. It is your money which is in the banks, stores, supermarkets, and dealerships. So go and get what is rightfully yours. Continue looking for what belongs to us, because it is ours.
Can you tell us who Barbecue Jimmy Cherizier is, Kim Ives, and respond to Daoud's criticism?
Stop saying base, dude. He literally fucking kidnaps and murders people, dude. Dude, you literally, I feel like you get excited when you hear anyone say anything that is like relatively revolutionary or some shit without taking into account like the actual, without taking into account anything that they do beyond the aesthetics, dude. Holy fuck.
Of your paper, Haiti Liberté.
Yes, I can. Haiti Liberté, of which, by the way, I'm just the English language section editor. Has been following with very great interest the emergence of the G9. Unlike Daoud, Andre, I have met with Jimmy Cherizier and a number of the organizations on the ground in Haiti. The massacres that he's describing are really the product principally of...
Oh, I fucking knew it, dude. He's gonna... Okay.
An outfit called the RNDDH. the Haitian Network for the Defense of Human Rights in Haiti, headed by a guy called Pierre Esperance, who also issued fallacious reports against the Aristide government after.
By the way, this is analogous to why I never cover Syria and why I don't talk about Gray Zone as well, because there is so much misinformation on the ground. It's virtually impossible. Everyone has their own fucking biases. There's like numerous different kinds of ideologies at play, and this type of commentary it just confuses things even further.
The 2004 coup d'etat, he has basically waged some kind of holy war against Jimmy Cherizier, who, according to Cherizier, he asked to bump off to rub out a rival human rights group head. So Jimmy Cherizier was a stellar policeman who was basically radicalized by his betrayal by the Haitian police leadership, who hung him out to dry after a operation went badly in Grand Ravine in 2017. And he was dealing with some of the leading lights of the opposition, Reginald Boulos, previously mentioned, a guy called Yuri Latortue, who is also an alleged former death squad leader and was called the poster boy for political corruption by the U.S. Embassy itself in the WikiLeaks cables that we released a decade ago. So he soured on them too, and he saw that both the government of Jovenel Moïse and the opposition, the bourgeois opposition with which Daoud is aligned, were rotten. And he said, we need a revolution because the people need schools. They need clinics.
Just admit you don't know. Most of us don't know either, but to take a firm stance against, oh my God, how dare this man go against the other guy? I mean, I know a bit about Haitian gangs. Like, I've been following Democracy Now's coverage over the course of the past year, just because I don't know about fucking Jimmy Barbecue or anything like that, but specifically, but I do know that, you know, they've been doing unspeakable acts of violence towards protesters and like just regular Haitian people.
They need sanitation. He took me around the neighborhoods of Delma 4, Delma 2, Delma 6, where he grew up. He's the son of a poor street vendor. And he showed me how people had to do their toilet in a plastic bag and throw it in a canal. And he said, you know, people can't live like this. So he has been calling for a revolution against the system in Haiti and is being radicalized really by the day and by these events. The portrayal of him in the mainstream press, in the, you know, by the AP, the Washington Post, is he's this gang leader. He's the boogeyman. But the reality is on the ground that this is an uprising, really, of Haiti's lumpen proletariat, which has been crushed over the past decades. And Jovenel Moïse was no different, and Martelly. And the people, the masses in Haiti, in Port-au-Prince, now some 3 million, 4 million people have had enough and are rising up.
Daoud, and your response, the issue of Kim saying that you are representing more of the bourgeois opposition?
Kim Ives is a joke, and it's sad that your program is giving him this platform to, again, push this garbage that Jimmy Cherizier, who, and this is not the RNDDH who's saying that Cherizier, that Barbecue is an assassin, a criminal, like someone who is responsible for all of these massacres. And despite the denunciations of the people of La Saline, of all of these poor neighborhoods in Bel Air, who themselves, they say that it is Jimmy Cherizier. This is RNDDH, this is Fondation J'Éclairé, this is the CARDH, and the people in the streets, and any radio station in the country that you turn on, and people who are massacred are speaking directly about who they saw came with guns, with gasoline and fire to burn down their homes. So now to say that Daoud Andre is aligned with the bourgeoisie opposition, there is a former ally of Kim Ives and his newspaper, Haiti Liberté, that he owns. But Kim is a white man, an American. And so he cannot come to this program or anywhere else and say that he is the owner, the puppet master of this newspaper. So he's pretending that he's just, but I'm sure that Amy Goodman, Juan Gonzalez, and everyone else who knows.
Wow, identity politics, nice logic. If you can't fucking recognize that it's like you have a literal fucking Haitian dude who's been an activist for his country and countrymen, talking about the situation on the ground from direct sources, including the sentiments expressed by Haitian people, that goes against the American journalist, who is a leftist, by the way. I mean, he is covering Haiti. If you consider that to just be like lol identity politics, you're literally out of your fucking mind. I mean, we're talking about Haiti, motherfucker. Of course, race plays a role. What
about this newspaper, knows who owns this newspaper, and knows that this is just another wannabe white savior for the people. And it's beautiful, the song that you started this segment with, Amy, because this is a song called Qui ça pour faire, what is to be done, as you said. And the song, if you continued to play it, it would say it's a revolution. And who's going to make this revolution? The Haitian people. It is not our neighbors. It is not wannabe white saviors like Kim Ives who are going to liberate the Haitian people. I want to speak a little bit about like this thing, the Jovenel Moïse. This is what this is about. And I should say, if I knew that I was going to be putting this program together with Kim Ives, I wouldn't even come on. And you should go to Haiti. You've been to Haiti, Amy, one, and go speak to someone like Oxygène David, who worked for years with Kim Ives. Go speak to Mario Joseph, who was close collaborator of Kim Ives, who are both denouncing him and his newspaper in Haiti for pushing this garbage.
So that's the point. Like, he could have, I mean, it seems like Kim Ives has been covering Haiti. He's like done investigative reporting in Haiti for The Intercept even. So he has like media credentials from the left, certainly. But that doesn't mean that like automatically everything he's covering, everything that he's doing right now with respect to like what he considers to be a revolutionary action, whether it be like barbecue and the gangs being like revolutionary, means it's correct.
That a scum like Jimmy Cherizier, who he's not going to Pétionville, to Thomasin, to kill the rich people, to steal from them. The people he has massacred for the government. And this is why for 3 years, the
most suspicious part about this process is the fact that this guy is supposed to be, Barbecue is supposed to be a criminal according to the Haitian government, and yet they have made zero attempts to actually find him and arrest him or prosecute him in any way, shape, or form. They have done zero things to try to take him down.
The government has never executed their warrants against Cherizier because he is in their pocket. He's someone who's working for them. And find his previous messages on social media where he has this same Jimmy Cherizier, an American flag behind his back to show the world who he stands with. And now that he has some little trouble with his people,
Daoud, if we can, we have only a couple more minutes.
Leading revolution. Yeah,
Daoud, we have only a couple more minutes to go. I wanted to get Kim Ives in to respond briefly, Kim, and also if you could talk about how the Biden administration has been dealing with Haiti since it's come into office.
Yes. Just to finish with Daoud, he's had a long time bugaboo with Haiti Liberté. I imagined he might explode on the show if coupled with me. His belief that I'm the owner of Haiti Liberté is as unfounded as his rumors that he's saying about the G9 and Jimmy Cherizier.
I don't know who killed him. I still don't know. I have no idea.